He put the ball in the Mackham's net, but can he win Player of the Year? Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. Jonny here with another video. This time it's about the main man, the 20-goal Premier League man, Alexander Isak. He has been nominated for Young Player and Player of the Season in the awards that have just been released by the Premier League today. Now, I'm going to give you the case for Alexander Isak, where he should win at least one of those awards that are up for grabs. Now, Player of the Season, he's up against some top players, let's be honest, likes of Declan Rice, the likes of Phil Foden, Erling Haaland. But why does Alexander Isak deserve it? Well, first, 20 Premier League goals in a season is an incredible start. He doesn't play for a Manchester City where he's going to get so many chances, and he can basically score a lot more if he was fit for the whole season. That's the only thing that's stopping probably Alexander Isak not being above Erling Haaland right now, if we're being honest. And now Erling Haaland, you know, we're talking about a world-class player. Alexander Isak, potentially, in some eyes, is a world-class player. I would argue that Alexander Isak is a world-class striker right now. He's scoring goals. He's a threat. His build-up play is absolutely amazing. And when you consider that Newcastle is basically fighting for European football in terms of the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, I think it just shows how much of a season, or a good season rather, that Alexander Isak has had. He scored against some big teams. He scored against Tottenham, which, you know, that game at St James's Park in particular was outstanding. Villa at the opening day of the season springs to mind. And he's always been a real Thor with a lot of teams, the likes of Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I remember that game and thinking, you know, he hasn't really done a lot, but he scores goals. And that's the biggest thing, or the biggest compliment you can give Alexander Isak. He's a silent assassin, if you like. He is a silent assassin. He's that good in front of goal. And you don't want to give him a chance. You do not want to give him a chance. And yeah, he's been outstanding. And I know there's going to probably be a separate conversation whether Alexander Isak is Newcastle's Player of the Season. Anthony Gordon deserves a mention. Fabian Schär deserves a mention. Bruno Guimaraes deserves a mention. And that's going to be a separate debate in itself. But for me, Phil Foden has had a fantastic season. Declan Rice has had an outstanding season. But at this moment in time, Alexander Isak is playing a team that's just not at that level. They're not. Newcastle at this moment in time aren't a Manchester City. They aren't an Arsenal. So I think that's why he should be given this award, at least one of the awards. Young Player of the Season. I don't know how Anthony Gordon's not in Young Player of the Season candidates, by the way. 10 goals, 10 assists. And you've got players like Kobe Mainoo and Destiny Udogie. Come on. Anthony Gordon has been outstanding for Newcastle. He really has. But Alexander Isak is in that category. Now, I suppose in the young player category, Cole Palmer is probably going to be one that you'd argue that's had just as good of a season, maybe even better in some people's eyes. I think Alexander Isak has had a better season than Cole Palmer. And the reason why I say that is because Cole Palmer's been, like I say, at a Manchester City where he's learnt off some fantastic players, learnt with world-class talent week in, week out. Yes, he's taken on the mantle of being at Chelsea, and I'm not taking away from an outstanding season. But I just think there's that extra pressure at Newcastle. You know, being the main man. Callum Wilson's got the number 9 shirt, but Alexander Isak is pretty much wearing it at this moment in time in terms of the second half of the season. I think you look at other players like Mickey van der Ven in terms of that centre half. He bullied him. He bullied him all game. He's been absolutely outstanding, Alexander Isak. I really do think that, you know, Newcastle will have to try and tie him down, try and get a lot of money for him in terms of a release clause if there is one. But look, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens between now and the end of the season or the end of the transfer window to see if Alexander Isak is still going to be in a Newcastle shirt from August. But yeah, that is my take on the Alexander Isak debate, whether or not he should be, well, I think he should be at least Young Player of the Season. Player of the Season, you know, there's a lot of good candidates, but that is my argument. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you tell me that are you going to tell me that I'm wrong? Are you going to tell me that I'm right? But yeah, get your comments in. Is Alexander Isak Newcastle's Player of the Season? Get that in the comments as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people debating that in the comments. But yeah, 2 days until the game against Brighton on Saturday, where there'll be loads of videos. But that that is going to be an outstanding game of football if Newcastle play like they have been recently, because Europa League football is on the horizon. Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you all very soon.